In today's video, you'll see beautiful spring weather, a pot of bigos, an indestructible Polish Ursus, axes, and a splitting wedge. Enjoy! Finally, it's spring! The sun is out there, so it's the perfect time to bring in some wood from the forest, cut it up, and at the same time test out some axes. If you have your own property and occasionally need to chop wood, this might actually be useful for you. It could help you decide which axe to buy. For others who don't plan on buying or using an axe, well, maybe you'll just enjoy watching a slice of rural life while having lunch. Let's get started. Firewood is best cut in winter before the trees start drawing sap. Once they're felled and marked by the forester, they need to be cut, transported and split. I know there are high-tech machines that make hauling wood easier, but in my opinion the best tool for the job is still a tractor and a wagon. To me, the Ursus 360 is an icon of Polish villages. Just look at this one. Over 40 years old, missing the right steering rod, the wheel alignment. What alignment? No lights, torn up wiring, and yet the tractor still runs. It may look rough, but it gets the job done. Solid quality. But let's get back to axes. We've got 3 brothers and 3 different approaches. I've made myself an axe using an old blade, a piece of oak wood, and a metal guard at the front to prevent the handle from breaking. As you can see, the blade is heavy and has a special shape, designed for splitting wood. You can find similar axes in hardware stores. So mine is a typical splitting axe with a medium-sized handle. My first brother, on the other hand, uses a splitting wedge and a special long-handled splitting axe with a very heavy blade. The handle also widens at the top like a pickaxe, so the blade will never fall off. A neat safety feature. My second brother uses a hatchet and a heavy axe. The blades on both of these axes are narrow, meaning they're not really designed for splitting wood. Let's see how they perform. But before we begin, a mandatory break for coffee, tea from a thermos, and a pot of bigos. Yum! Axe test. To be honest, the test didn't go that well. Turns out, if you swing hard enough, almost any axe except the small hatchet can do the job. Let's start with the hatchet. The hatchet has a thin blade and a short handle. Even though it's sharp, it struggles with fresh birch wood. It gets stuck deep and is hard to pull out. Verdict: the hatchet is not good for splitting wood. Not exactly shocking. Do you think the small axe was the worst? Nope. The splitting wedge was completely useless. It just didn't work. No matter how hard we hit it, it couldn't handle birch or even aspen. It was hard to drive in, kept popping out, and even when we managed to get it in, well, that was it. It just sat there. It didn't actually split the log. Verdict: if you want to waste money, buy a splitting wedge. Now, let's move on to the 3 axes, 2 of which were designed for splitting wood. How did they do? Well, no surprises here. All 3 worked great. The best was the one with the longest handle. It requires a lot of strength, but splitting with it was smooth and easy. Verdict: great axe, but not for weaklings. You need to use both hands. Highly recommended even for splitting old oak. My homemade axe performed just as well. Its special shape helped it break logs apart easily. The medium-length handle wasn't an issue. In fact, it made work faster. I could even split smaller logs one-handed, plus, if I accidentally hit a log with the handle, it didn't get damaged thanks to the metal guard. Verdict: a medium-sized axe with a wide splitting blade is a solid choice. And finally, the classic heavy old-school village axe that used to belong to our grandfather. This axe had been soaked in water overnight, an old trick that makes the wooden handle swell, keeping the blade firmly in place. The axe's heavy weight made splitting easy, but because of its narrow blade, it sometimes got stuck in the wood and even punched through the chopping block completely. Verdict: a decent axe, but kind of annoying since it gets stuck in logs. Or maybe my brother just ate too much bigos and got too strong. Final thoughts and summary. So a small axe isn't great for splitting. It works, but it's a pain because it keeps getting stuck. You could use it, but why make life harder? The heavier the axe, the longer the handle, the better the swing, the easier the job. A medium-length handle is also convenient because it lets you chop smaller logs one-handed. A special splitting blade makes a difference. It not only splits logs more easily, but also reduces the chance of getting stuck. Oh, and splitting wedges are garbage. Don't buy them. That's all for today. See you next time.